So we can kick things off. Do you mind just talking about your time in Pakistan?
Yeah, absolutely. Born and raised in Karachi, that's where I spent first 18 years of my life. My time in Pakistan is actually split across the three major cities, right? So Karachi is where I was raised and grew up in. I spent my undergrad years in Lahore, which were fantastic 4 years that I spent at Lums. And then I essentially started off my professional journey in Islamabad, where I was working with Pakistan Tobacco Company. So I spent a couple of years there. As part of that, those 2 years as a management trainee there for marketing, I spent a lot of time traveling in Punjab. So the interiors of Punjab, a lot of the cities and kind of villages, figuring out how to sell tobacco to and what trade marketing looks like. So a lot of time spent across there. And then I spent some time working in Lahore again when I was working with Pepsi as well. So those are the three major cities I spent most of the time. Fantastic early years in Pakistan, right? Like my schooling, my childhood friends that I've actually, a lot of them are here now in Mississauga or in Canada with me are from Pakistan. So have a fantastic memories from that country, and my family is still there. My parents are there. So we try and go there every year. So yeah, it's a place I still call home.
Is there any like good memories you have in terms of the travels you've done? So you mentioned you did a few places you went to. So in terms of that experience, how was that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, my initial years of my career, especially starting off with a company like Pakistan Tobacco, which was a fantastic kind of learning ground, right? For any young kid coming out of university at the age of 21, 22, to have to work with a company that is so well entrenched in their processes and gives really takes you through the grind of trying to understand what the work is on ground when you're into sales and marketing. So a lot of my experience of having to go into cities like Jung and seeing the cultures there, seeing how actually people work was really enlightening, right? So I remember spending time in Faisalabad and traveling every day to Jung from there and just understanding the different belief structures that people have, how important multiple different shrines are, having gone to even, let's say, the Heer Ranjha shrine. And I don't know if you're aware of, but it's obviously a
Yeah.
folklore, but they've also converted that into a shrine. And you see a lot of people there congregated, having some kind of prayer or the other, looking forward for that to be accepted. So those experiences at an early age were quite enlightening. And then I traveled a lot of that interior Punjab on the back of a motorcycle with a salesman or a
Yes.
sales promoter. At the time, you were allowed to put tobacco advertising. So having to put those posters on different shops and 38, 40-degree temperature a lot of times was, at the time, I was like, why am I doing that? I just graduated out of Lums. Why the hell am I on a motorbike putting posters on? But it was an extremely enlightening learning experience having gone through that mill to really understand how the work is done on the ground.
Awesome. So did you have any key connections from Pakistan that has shaped you as a professional?
My first initiation into the corporate world or first exposure of the corporate world is through my parents, right? Both my parents are working individuals who've been in that corporate sphere all their lives to this stage. So those are my dad and my mom are my first exposure to that world, and I've learned a lot from them. So that goes without saying. Beyond that, I was lucky enough to find some really great mentors very early on, right? At PTC as well as at Pepsi, I was able to nurture a lot of those relationships that I hold dear to me even to this date. One of my mentors actually moved to Canada a few years before I did, and he used to work in Deloitte, right, as a consultant. So I learned a lot from him. And then similarly, when I go back to Pakistan, I try my best. It doesn't happen all the time, but I try my best to keep those connections alive and take some time out to even meet some of them for coffee, just to kind of exchange how they're doing, how I've been doing, how I'm thinking about my career. So I think those first few years and the mentors that you develop are just so important to keep you grounded, as well as to give you some kind of roadmap to how you want to shape your career going forward as well.